On the 13th day of aircraft. Why is there 13 days? Also, this is another rocket, not an aircraft. I don't understand. Anyhow, it's a Gemini replica. You know, Gemini? Gemini. The second rocket ever made. No, it's not, actually, but I felt like saying it that way. As you can see, we have a 1.4 thrust weight ratio on the first stage, and an appalling 0.36 on the second stage, but of course that increases when you get into the vacuum, as well as the delta V goes from nothing to orbit capable. The problem with these specs, however, is that means this rocket must be launched in a very steep ascent profile. Now, I don't actually know what the original ascent profile of the Gemini was. I just know that with my particular variant, you do need to be very steep with it, as I said, or else you're not going to get into orbit. And I think I've only done 1 or 2, maybe 3 test flights with this particular system, so I'm not entirely confident that I will fly it correctly, but I will do my best. In any case, we're going straight up for the first stage. Just straight up. Don't even try to turn. At least I don't think I tried to turn in the first stage. I might try to turn a little bit. Actually, considering we're halfway through the first stage and we're not even out of the thickest part of the atmosphere yet, yeah, definitely don't try to turn with the first stage. You're not gonna make it. Not at all. However, I believe with the second stage you can pretty quickly turn over to 45 degrees, but you have to maintain that 45 degree attitude for quite a while. And you can see we're actually getting close to out of the thickest part of the atmosphere now, and we're almost done with this. You can see our thrust to weight ratio is climbing fairly close to its ideal on the second stage, so things aren't quite as horrible as I thought they were going to be, but still not great. Anyhow, at this point I'm going to go ahead and begin a slow turn over. Don't want to turn too fast because, as I'm showing there, we're still in thick enough part of the atmosphere that bad things can happen if we're not careful. But of course we do need to start picking up horizontal speed because we are losing speed overall, and we won't make it out of the atmosphere if we don't, or rather we won't make it into orbit if we don't start pitching over, considering our thrust to weight ratio isn't even 1 at this point, so this cannot support itself. However, as we finish our pitch over to 45 degrees here, we should be okay. You can see we're starting to pick up speed again, just a little bit, not much, but we are starting to pick it up. And of course we're going to need that if we have any hope of getting into orbit. What do we have on board today? We have a pilot and a scientist. Hopefully this goes well for them. It might not. You can see our apoapsis is not even out of the atmosphere yet. You can see our T- is holding stationary at 39 seconds, however. 38 now, very slowly approaching that. So we should have a decent time getting to orbit. Not the best time, but a decent time. And I'm going to continue to pitch over just a little bit more because we're moving around the planet, of course, so our angle there changed just a little bit. And like I said, I'm pretty much just going to hold this 45 degrees here for quite a while, even though we are now going sideways through the atmosphere. Of course, there's not much atmosphere up here. I was going to show the forces on us, but you can see it's basically nothing at this point. So we're doing okay. We did drift a little bit off target though, so I'm going to go ahead and get us... Nope, not there. Right there. It's very hard to get it exactly on 90. It wants to go on 89 or 91, and as you can see, our time to apoapsis is starting to increase, and you can see that our apoapsis is finally getting above the atmosphere, and we're about halfway through our fuel. We might be able to pitch over to the horizontal at this point, but I'm not entirely sure. I'm going to go ahead and pitch us down to around 30 degrees and hold it right about here for now. And you can see that should bring us... Oh, it's not bringing us closer to our... I think we can just go ahead and go to the horizontal then. And I'm going to actually throttle down just a little bit because our apoapsis is getting above the atmosphere. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and throttle us down to 1/3. And then, should we do a coasting? I mean, we could do a coasting. You know what, let's just go ahead and get ourselves straight up lined up with the horizontal, because at this point we basically can. And you can see our apoapsis is getting to 80 kilometers. Our periapsis is still quite low at non-existent. but it's at least not at the center of the planet anymore. So, you know, it's still quite deep in the planet, but we can make it, I swear. You can see our time to apoptosis is falling quite severely here, which is why I'm now going to throttle up again at about T-minus 20 seconds from our predicted apoapsis, which is now. And you see we're going to continue to fall closer to our predicted apoapsis, but we should be able to kick up the periapsis before that becomes too much of an issue. As you can see, we're falling towards apoapsis fairly slowly, so should be fine. Should be fine. I could be wrong. Yeah, I'm definitely wrong. Look at how close we are to running. We're going to start to fall back just a little bit before we actually get there. That's okay, though. That's okay, though. And actually, yeah, we're doing pretty good. We got plenty of fuel. We're doing good. I think what I will do, however, is I will get us to periapsis of 30 kilometers. And then stage. And I'm going to activate RCS because this does have RCS jets that can finish our orbital ascension, our orbital insertion. Although, as you can see, we are going through our monocrop rather rapidly, and I perhaps should have waited a bit longer to do that because we're not going to... There we go, we're in orbit. Now, of course, earlier rockets didn't worry so much about the exact position you got into space, which is why I'm fine with this. You might notice we have some oxidizer and liquid fuel. We have a couple of vernier engines on board that can use that, but no forward thrusting engines that can use that. And it's just because of these Oscar Bs at the top, and that's kind of me trying to replicate the look of this, even though it doesn't entirely replicate the function. I believe there may or may not be... What's this? Oh, that's just part of the service module. I'm just checking in here. No, there is not a... Let's go ahead and... No, I'm not going to... Actually, I can enable the cutaway so you can see that we have... Oh, we do have a little bit of fuel in here. Yeah, that's not doing us any good, though, because, like, we can't really use it effectively. I might go ahead and make another version of this where I empty most of the fuel in... Or entirely all the fuel in these, but leave a little bit in here so that those verniers can be used if you wish to use them during the ascent. However, they're not much useful for anything after that. Right now, though, let's go ahead and do an orbit. And then right about here, I'm going to go ahead and... Oh, don't want to use up all the RCS, just positioning ourselves. And let's go ahead and fire up the last of our RCS to get us deorbiting. And that's not quite enough. I'm going to go ahead and try something dumb, which is that is slowing us down. All right, cool. I'm deorbiting sideways. That's a perfectly reasonable thing to do. Don't let anyone ever tell you otherwise. I'm going to get our periapsis down to about 36,000. Seems good to me. I'm going to go ahead and get us to retrograde. And I'm going to time warp us to atmospheric interface, which should be around dawn, or a little bit past dawn. I wanted to get us coming down in the light so that you could see it better. Not the best angle, but certainly achievable. Bye-bye. Oh, I guess I can't disable the cutaway now, so it looks like it's been ejected in a way where it hasn't been, and looks like the parachute is already set. Don't know why I disabled that. Actually, you know what? Let's see how it does just purely ballistically. Probably fine. I mean, I can't say for certain, but it was designed for ballistic reentry, both the real one and my version, so it should handle it all right. And in fact, you can see it's oscillating very slightly, but it's oscillating to the correct trajectory, which is good. So we have way more ablator than we actually need there. But I just made this a quick replica. I didn't try to agonize over optimizations. So clearly I should make a version 2 that reduces the amount of fuel on board, because we didn't even use any of this, and reduces the amount of bladers so that you have a easier time getting to orbit with the replica. And as you can see, we're having a rather smooth descent, Our periapsis is now negative, so we're going to start falling more rapidly, and you can see we're getting a little bit of Bernie effects. Sadly, not presidential Bernie effects, but, you know, that's just how things go sometimes. And by that I mean, the fucking American system of democracy is not great. It really isn't. And as you can see, we've had a very smooth reentry. And of course the parachutes will begin their deployment stages and fully deploy once we reach 1,000 meters. So, you know what time it is now? Jump, 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 let go. Yeah! Whee! Bye, capsule. It was nice knowing you. How do I rotate? Ah, there we go. Rotate. And, oh, I can't hit in to go down. I guess I'll have to hit control. There we go. We need to go down faster. Because of course we have an RCS pack. Because why not? How far away are you? Oh, did you go out of loading range? I hope you didn't go out of... It shouldn't have, because they changed that more recently for atmospheric interface. Gonna be sad if it doesn't happen, though. Also, I don't need our target. Actually, target relative speed would be... Ah, see, our target relative speed just changed. So, safely down there. Where's the parachute? There it is. Oh yeah, I forgot I can just hit P. And I'm trying to actually get to my capsule again. So, just gonna change that a little bit. Who needs the helmet and neck ring at this point, really? I wish I could just throw off the RCS pack instead of having to put it inside of a capsule. But, oh well. Yo, parachute, when you gonna deploy? Parachute, what the fuck? You know what? He survived. It's fine. Not conscious yet. Or, there we go, now he's conscious. Yeah, what the hell? Parachute? Yo! What the fuck? That's weird. Well, anyhow, thanks for watching. And as always, I'm gonna leave this Kerbal out here in the middle of the ocean.